Hello. Hi. So as you can see from the title of the video, this will basically be my first impression look on Digimon Survive after having played for like over 20 hours. And I have to say though, so far I'm actually really enjoying the game itself. And the wait for the game has actually been really worth it. Because it's just so solid itself. And I'm really happy to see, right, and hoping that Digimon Survive would actually do really well in the sales chart so that Bandai in the future will continue to make more Digimon Survive games or Survive like games because it's just been really tremendous fun and a real solid addition to the line of Digimon games that you know exist. Um, I will say though, for the story itself, yeah, it's not been that great. The story, of course, is kind of just like okay, it's serviceable. It's not that bad, neither is it all that like really grand so far. However, a lot of my opinion for why I really give the story such a low grading and a low opinion of it is because like 90% of the cast is just so unlikable. Like, even your main character makes you want to jump through the TV itself and just punch them all right into the face. Like, a lot of them are just absolutely stupid, brain dead, and so douchey. They are basically your standard survival horror movie protagonists. Okay, maybe not protagonists, but victims. Where you see them and the way they act and the kind of stupid things they do, and it turns you off so much you start rooting for the villain to basically go in there and just off all of them. That was basically my experience with the story itself, where there were many times when I was screaming at my character to just drop kick the douchebags over a cliff and right into the ocean, but none of them does that. They don't even give me the option to just scream at the idiots. And not to mention, right, if you go in there expecting that your choices really will have all that huge of an impact in how the story will go, so far, after 20 over hours into the thing, I have to say there really isn't that much of a difference in how the story plays out. From what I understand from having seen some of the stuff online as well as I was getting this video prepared, it seems that in the New Game Plus, there will be different changes and things you can do to affect the game, but even then, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be all that much different from how you play it. But again, I will have to admit, it's just 20 over hours into the game itself. It's not that far yet. Things could really change if I progress on, but so far, I have to say, you really don't feel like anything I've done has changed the story, and it's just kind of like quite linear. Especially when you remember the interviews from the directors and the creators of the game itself, that it was gonna be like your choices and what you do affects the outcome of the game itself. But like I say, who knows? Maybe there'll be more of it when I progress it on. But I have to say it's actually really difficult to want to progress the story on and actually get to the ending of the game itself when I just hate pretty much every last one of the characters in there, and they sap so much of my energy. It makes me not want to just play anymore because of how badly each of the character has been written. Not in the kind of like, oh, they are written so terribly kind of like bad written way, but more in the way of, oh my god, every last one of them make me want to drop kick every last one of them off of a cliff kind of bad written. And it's just not very fun, especially when the story so far has just kind of been like, serviceable. So when you add in really like horrendous characters in there that just really turn you off from the game itself, it's just like, yeah, you're really only in there for the gameplay itself, and the story is just kind of like skipping through it. So yeah, the characters, a lot of them just make me want to drop kick them off of a cliff. So if you're gonna play this game, go in there expecting to basically have fun during the gameplay section of it, but expect to be screaming at your television at how stupid each of the characters are and how much you want to murder every last one of them. Also, caveat as well. When you get in there, expect the prologue to be really dry and really boring. Because basically in there, it's just a lot of listening to dialogue and going through cutscenes. You're basically not going to be doing a lot of things until like 30 odd to maybe an hour in. Yeah. And that's depend on how fast or how slow you're progressing through the first like really cutscene heavy section of it. I personally spent like nearly an hour going through the prologue and it was so dry. Basically imagine Persona 5, that entire opening section, all the way up until the tutorial before you get to actually get into the like meat and potato of the game itself, where you're just listening to a lot of dialogues, where you're just going through a lot of the more repetitive and talky scenes, and that's just not really fun. It's only when you can get past that prologue and actually get into the actual gameplay itself where the game really becomes like very fun and it really starts to shine. So that's another caveat for the game. So if you ask me what I would personally rate the game as, I'd say about 70, 75. A very solid game itself, and it's a great lineup to the wonderful line of Digimon games that we already have. And again, really hope that Bandai can do more with the video game part of the Digimon franchise. Because again, it really does need a lot more games similar in quality to like Survive, Digimon World, and Digimon Story. Yeah, so great game overall. Anyway, thanks for having listened to my rant, and I hope to be able to see you in my next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.